Welcome back and welcome to another book versus movie video. I feel like it's a long time since I did one of these. The last book versus movie video I did was The Sun Is Also a Star, which I will leave linked up here in case you missed that. And I didn't really enjoy that movie. Today I'm going to be talking about The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, the book versus the movie. And yes, I did get both of these from my library. Libraries are awesome. I love them. This is the Blu-ray and this is the chunky paperback. And unfortunately, this is going to be another case where I didn't enjoy the movie. Now, if you have been following me for a while, you will know that dystopian, sci-fi, people with powers, when it comes to books or movies, it's not really my major thing, but my lovely friend Jenna wanted to read The Darkest Minds with me, and she is always so fun to do buddy reads with, so I checked it out of the library and I went in, and this is just shy of 500 pages, so it's a big commitment that I made for her, thinking I wasn't going to like the book. I liked the book a lot better than I thought I was going to. It felt a little bit like Hunger Games for me, but a bit more, I want to say violent, but obviously Hunger Games has a lot of killing in, so it's quite violent too, but I felt like this was violent and power controlling in a different way. And then we also kind of buddy watched the movie. So we started it at the same time and texted the whole way through, chatting about our thoughts on the book versus the movie and what was going on in the movie in general. And we both disliked the movie, whereas we both kind of liked the book. I think we both gave it 3 stars, so that's how we feel about the book. I think she's going to continue on with the series. I won't be continuing on with the series. As always, my book versus movie opinions are just my opinion. I understand that a book is different from a movie, and a almost 500-page book is not going to fit entirely into an hour and 45-minute movie. I know that things have to be changed and things have to be moved around, but these videos are just me giving my thoughts on how the book compares to the movie. I am in no way under any illusion that books and movies of the same thing should be exactly the same. They have different writers, different people involved, and a book is a book and a movie is a movie. A book, we create the images in our head, the movie is on the screen. Just putting that out there before anybody starts to talk about it in the comments. So yeah, in my opinion, this movie was very different from the book. I feel like obviously they were going to have to cut stuff out in order to condense what happened in the book into just an hour and 3/4 length movie. And in my opinion, the book was a little on the long side anyway and could have been cut back a little bit. However, overall, I feel like they made too many cuts, in that they cut out bits that gave important details and that gave important plot points, so the movie was actually full of plot holes. And I feel like they could have cut out some other bits in order to make it shorter, and left in important plot points. They also changed quite a few bits, including most of the ending. I feel like most of the ending was very different. The beginning was very different. The main body of the kind of main bit was similar in sorts, apart from missing bits, as I've already mentioned. But yeah, the beginning felt very rushed. I feel like we really got into Ruby and her having the powers that she has and going into the camp, and I think that bit took about 3 minutes, whereas I feel like in the book it took about 70 pages or something. And I feel like some of the stuff that we got to know about Ruby's background towards the end of the book, that was revealed at the end of the book and kind of was a bit like, oh, that happened, and oh, that's how it went down, at the end of the book, was right at the beginning of the film. So all that was out there, and we didn't kind of get given that as a reward for getting through to a certain part, which you do in the book. If that makes sense. I feel like I said that a little clumsily, but I'm going with my best of my opinions. I just literally finished watching the film, so it is an evening when I'm filming this. The book, to me, like, obviously both are sci-fi. They're to do with children having these powers, and the powers are classified into different color levels. So you have green, blue, gold, orange, red. We know that Ruby is an orange, and oranges are classed as dangerous and have kind of been wiped out. And most kind of normal children in the world have been wiped out by this disease, and there's only these children with these special powers left, and that's where we get the title The Darkest Minds from. So Ruby's powers, I don't really feel like they're explained terribly well in the film, and the other children that she comes across on her journey, I don't feel their powers are terribly well explained either. There's a moment in a doctor's office where we go through the chart and what each of the colours means, but then we don't return back to, oh, and this child is a green, which means they can do this, this or this. Or you're a blue, so that means that you don't work well with this, this and this. I feel that that's kind of rushed and glossed over in the movie. That's one of the bits where they've cut stuff down for time, and I feel like they've cut too far. And I feel like the movie was very much more of a sci-fi because of that. It's just showing the children using their powers, whereas I feel like the book feels more dystopian because it's, okay, these are the oranges and their powers are this, and the reason that they're in this group is this, and these are the greens, and the greens are useful for this, and they're classified together as this. I feel the book feels more like it goes into depth into all those things, whereas the film really glosses over it and could do with just going a little bit deeper, even just a little bit deeper. So the middle part of the book, I feel like we skipped over some bits, and she meets people along the way in both the book and the movie, and I feel like in both, to some extent, once she's left those people, it's never explained what happens to them, but in the book, at least, you get a little bit more of an explanation of who the people are and where they've come from and why she's meeting them. Whereas in the movie, she just like rocks up, there's people there, they have an interaction, and then we move on. I feel like that detail was left out a little bit. And then the ending just felt really, really different. The ending with one character, Clancy, whom she meets in the book, I feel like he has more of a role in the ending in the film than he does in the book. However, in the book, there's a particular scene which I was wondering how they were going to do in the film, and I was kind of chatting to Jenna about how they were going to do it, and she said, I bet they just gloss over it and don't really show it, and it's true. And that was one of the things that I really not liked, but I liked the fact that the book included it. And so for the fact that that was missing in the film, again, always spoiler free, but the fact that was kind of missing in the film, or it sort of almost starts to happen but then just doesn't, that was lacking for me. I think that they could have definitely handled that in the film in a way that still would have left it being for the audience that it's for, because the book and the film are basically for the same audience anyway. And then at the very end of the film, we see kind of the remaining children who have powers kind of coming together, but we know there are more of them. But they all like take this paint and like paint their forehead with their colour, and then like hold up their hand with the paint on their hand as well. And that to me is a nod to it being more dystopian, but at the same time it just feels a little bit like, okay, I'm orange and I'm blue and I'm green, and I can't diverge from that in any way, and I must be classified according to my colour. And that to me is just like, now we're getting into just being a little bit racist now. Is that where the second film's going to go down? So I don't feel like the book was going down that route. Overall, because of the amount that they cut and the amount that they changed, two of the characters were very, very different. Two of the kind of main children characters were very different. I don't want to go into why, because it will be very spoilery, and you know I avoid spoilers here, but yeah, those two just being different, it just, yeah, was a different thing. And I definitely liked the book more than the movie. I thought that if you were watching the movie without having read the book, there are enough plot holes that you would kind of miss the point of it. And I have read a few reviews that say, I don't really understand what I was watching here. And I can see why people felt that way, definitely. So yeah, there you have it. My opinion on The Darkest Minds, book versus movie. As always, if there is a particular movie or book that you want me to read and watch and give my opinions on here, let me know in the comments. Do let me know if you have read and watched The Darkest Minds and what you thought. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed so that my next video lands in your subscription feed. I should have another book versus movie coming up quite soon. I think they've recently been about one a month, so you want to make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss that one. I'll be back with another bookish video for you very soon, so I will see you then. Thanks for watching.